a successful contributing member of society who will foster a culture of ownership and accountability through partnerships that create multiple pathways for success. Mr. Moore, please call the roll.
Okay, Colonel Smith.
Present.
Daniel Gray.
Here.
Ava Coleman.
Here.
Jim Moore here. Ron McDaniel.
Present.
Dina Tony.
Here.
Lauren Martin.
Here.
And Laura Walker.
Here.
All here, sir.
Thank you very much. You'll join me as we stand for a moment of silence, followed by the pledge.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. First thing we've got, there is a special addendum. We've got some, has everybody got one of those, or is this, am I supposed to pass these out?
That's yours.
So we need, I entertain a motion to add the addendum to the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that passes unanimously. So I'm going to kind of pick and choose. We're going to do the first two here in just a minute, and then we'll put the personnel with the personnel when we get to that. That's all right with y'all? Okay. So first thing we have, a special presentation. Dr. Ola, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, President Gray. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I'm going to ask Dr. Walker, our Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction, to come to set the stage for the presentations from the principal. Dr. Walker.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. You all have in front of you several slides, but I'm going to be brief with every slide, but I'm basically going to give you an overview of the Arkansas Accountability System, including how performance levels and school report card letter grade is determined. After that, then the principals from each school will come up and give you a few highlights of areas that they're going to focus on to help our scholars grow. So if you look at the very first slide, it just basically, it tells you kind of what the ATLAS, and I'll tell you what ATLAS stands for. It's the Arkansas Teaching, Learning, and Assessment System. And basically what that test is going to do is just tell us how well our scholars are growing and performing. And the measures of how we do that is that we have to have a good picture of all of our scholars. So we have to test 95% of those scholars. That is the goal. And that way it gives us a big picture. And the other part of that is just when the accountability system was established, these are some things that the stakeholders like community leaders, educators said that they wanted as a part of it was rigorous, and that the test would reveal if our scholars are truly ready for the workforce readiness. And that's determined at the high school level. Go to the next slide. And this also emphasized too that the high expectations they were looking for, and they basically wanted to make sure that the test was transparent and it was easy for people to read and understand. These are the 4 levels, and when you look at the levels, it's the first level is the students who have limited understanding, and we call these the 25% bottom percentile of our students. And then the next is level 2, and this is a basic understanding of knowledge at the grade level skills. And level 3 is that they have a proficient understanding, and level 4 is that they have an advanced understanding. These are the indicators. This is what makes up our letter grade. They look at achievement, a growth for all, and they also look at that level 1, which is that lowest 25 percentile. Are we growing that lowest level? Because that's actually where we get most of our points that will help us determine our letter grade. And these are the indicators that they look at for high school, which is achievement, growth, graduation rate, merit, and distinction. When we were with ACT Aspire, it was based upon a different grading scale. But with Atlas, we are scored on a scale of 900. And so when you look at the letter grades, these are the scores that determine which category you fall into. And this is probably the slide that is probably one of interest because it tells you what our letter grades are. So, but before I start, I do want to reference Jacksonville High School. We received an email on Friday that said that they recalculated the high school grade. So it is no longer an F, it is a D. We are still waiting to find out what the actual number is. And so Dr. Owa will share that as soon as we receive that information. So I'm just going to take one of the categories and go through it. So, and I'll just pick the very first one, was Bobby G. Lester. In 22-23, that was the test that we took for ACT Aspire. And it was for grades 3 through 10. Then in 23-24 is when the Arkansas was shifting to Atlas. So there was no letter grade given during that particular year. So for 24-25, we did get grades, but they were simulated grades. And they were just basically determining and trying to calibrate that particular test. So then we took it again in 25-26, and this is our actual letter grade. So Bobby Lester was a D, no grade, then a D, and then for 25-26 was a C. Then in that next column with a minus and plus, that is basically how much the difference was between that C and D, which was a plus of 64.62 on those points. And then they had 15% growth. Now that everybody is striving to get to the next level, so when you look at Bobby G, they are currently at a C, so in order to get to a B, they would have to go to 441.12 points, and the percentage to that is 5.8. So I'm going to pause there in case you all have any questions, and then you can see the other schools what their letter grades currently are.
Thank you, Dr. Walker, and board and audience. I just want you to remember, so we can bring some context to this. If you remember what we started out with, and when we first started as a district, we had single digits of achievement and growth. And so for us, less than 10 years, almost at 10 years, to have this type of achievement and growth, I mean, we owe a lot to our staff, our educators, our leaders, and our scholars and community partners for this tremendous growth and achievement that we're seeing. And we knew we were seeing it. Now it's showing up on these end of the year assessments that the state is giving. And so I just wanted to commend the team's hard work over the years up until this point that they have put in with our young people, and definitely our young people for their hard work that they put in on taking these assessments. So just want to add that.
So you can see there are pockets for success. We are moving. And then there are areas where we know that we have to identify and provide that support that we need. And so we are focused on getting our scholars where they need to be. Now, as the principals come up, they're going to be sharing some data from these particular programs. And these are the programs that we're currently using to kind of measure how our students are progressing so far in the current school year. So when you look at the first one, at elementary, we have Lexia. And Lexia is just basically shows overall reading progress of our students. And then we have secondary, which is Lexia Power Up. And it tracks the performance of our students in word study, grammar, and comprehension. And then we have Reveal Math that we utilize. And on Reveal Math, it looks at the average score of how well scholars are doing on the activities that they're completing, the assignments, and the assessment. And last is Mathia, and it measures both student engagement and learning. So as the principals come up, you'll be able to see their data. And our first principal that's up is Dr. Young.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So Dr. Walker kind of stole our thunder just a little bit tonight, but We did grow to 415.34, which was a plus 64.62, 15.5%. Our next goal is only 5.8% away, so I feel like that's very doable, very reachable. As she said, you know, we do utilize Lexia and Reveal Math data to kind of help drive where we're going, and it's very reliable and it's very relatable to where they're going to actually perform on the Atlas, so that's one reason why we utilize that. Okay, for our action plan, our next steps, we are going to do daily and weekly walkthroughs and implement a process called Teachers Visiting Teachers. This will provide specific feedback. If you know anything of the Hattie effect scale, this is a 0.7, which anything greater than a 0.4 should release more than a year's worth of academic performance growth. So we'll be doing teacher walkthroughs among each other. We're going to continue to focus on Tier 1 instruction using Avid and Wicker strategies. I think that that's been a big driving force for our school data. Depth of knowledge, high-level questions, and this has a Hattie's effect size of 0.84. We're going to refocus our Titan time using weekly formatives, evaluate and adjust our small groups using formative assessments weekly, that Atlas score data, and focusing on the bottom 33% rather than the bottom 25% so that we don't miss any students that might be right on the bubble. And this has a Hattie's effect size of 1.57, which is huge. And then a big focus for myself is just focusing on teacher collective efficacy. We're using our peer funds, that the remainder balance of that, to allow teachers to plan for 15 weeks after school. I'm paying them to plan for lesson internalization, which also has a large Hattie effect size. And that's all from me. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Next, we have Bowman. Good evening.
Good evening.
So we've explained the numbers. Yes, percent to cut score for Biomeda is a 1.5. Takes us from a C to a B. That 1.5 equates to about 6 students. And so we just thought we're 1.5 away from a B. That's just not quite good enough. And so we're 44 students away from an A. And so that's our goal. We are really getting intentional about looking at every student, looking at their learning gaps, looking at their next steps. And I don't want to touch the wrong thing, but down there. Okay. So our action plan, our next steps, we just are focusing on the 4 central questions. We spend a lot of time working with solution tree and solution tree coaches, and we keep it basic. What is it that we want students to learn? And once we've identified what it is that we want them to learn, what does the instruction look like and how are we going to get them there? We look at the ALDs, the achievement level descriptors, and the grade level standards aligned to each grade level. Focus on Tier 1 and Tier 2 instruction and observations. Again, focusing on the standards, the pacing, the curriculum, and just a constant emphasis on strong Tier 1 instruction. We know that in order to see scholar growth, that Tier 1 instruction has to be top-notch. Tier 2 instructional observations are focusing on intentional grouping of students for grade level standards and mastery and targeted instruction to all scholars. So during that time when we're pulling those kids, we're not always pulling those kids looking at Tier 3, which would be a below grade level standard. We're looking at those Tier 2 standards and how are we going to get them where they need to be at mastery. Again, Tier 3 instruction is a focus on below grade level skill deficits, and we're using our intervention para to pull students along with our activity teachers when they have open periods during the day. Teacher accountability, focused on intentional look-fors during observations,
And then peer observations that are required monthly, where they go into their other teachers' classrooms, they look at, hey, this is really working, this isn't working for me, what can we do? We are being very intentional about staff and scholar attendance checks. We hold everybody accountable. If I'm absent, it goes on the attendance wall. If a teacher's absent, it goes on the attendance wall. We're not just focusing on when the kids are not here, but we can't focus on their attendance if, as the staff, we're not there. Avid lifestyle. We're just building we have developed a building-wide focus on Avid strategies, and we are embedding the Avid strategies in all staff and student learning. So the next question is, how will we know if they have learned it? Will we use all of our assessments to guide our next steps for instruction? What are we going to do if they don't learn it? We're going to refocus on Tier 2 and Tier 3 targeted small group instruction. What we know is if they're not learning something, we're missing the mark on how we're teaching it. It's got to be retaught. We've got to be more intentional about that. And what are we going to do once students know it? That's one of the biggest challenges once you start moving towards achievement is, we're 6 students from a B, 44 from an A, but that means we've got to keep everybody where they're at and continue growing those students plus all of the others. So really implementing strong extension activities to build on content and increase the rigor to ensure the students know all of the things at high levels. Okay.
Good evening, board. I'm here presenting our data from Jacksonville Elementary School. In the 24-25 school year, Jacksonville Elementary School did see a dip in our data, although we're definitely happy to see in our current reality that even utilizing our current intervention systems, we've been able to move 10% of students in a Tier 3, that's the multiple grade levels behind, or sometimes even a grade level behind, data that shows us in literacy, we've been able to move at least 10% of those students into grade level material. So we've been off to the races already, trying to make sure that we turn the tide for that data. I will say that in our action plan, one of the things we've really focused on this upcoming year is really just trying to take a sense of ownership and shifting our culture. And so when we talk about, just like Ms. Jones talked about, some look forwards in the classroom, we want to make sure that our spaces, our learning spaces, are really focused around a couple of 3 key things. The first is making sure that we have a joyful learning environment. We want to make sure that all of our classrooms are focused on grade level learning, but that it's a joyful experience when you enter into a classroom, and that we're giving teachers feedback as to whether or not they're creating experiences where students want to be at school, experiences where students are being challenged, and where they're buying into achieving at a high level. Secondly, setting high expectations for all scholars. And so we've tried to model that as an administrative team and as a learning team by making sure we're committing time to focus on instruction and giving high quality feedback to our teachers. And third, just adapting that mindset of success for all. And so really what that means is constantly coming back and reflecting on our current practices to see how we can continue to improve instruction. So the how of how that actually works, as I mentioned, that first piece is really focusing on grade level instruction. Ms. Jones also said this, we know that if we're gonna move scholars, the number one thing we really can control is how we impact instruction. That's what we get to control, and so we've tried to make sure that we've committed the time. So each week, our teachers are meeting twice a week. First part of the week is focused on their internalization of lessons, as Dr. Young mentioned. How do they understand what the state standard is actually asking us to help students reach? What are the best ways to help a student reach it? And then how do we also plan, knowing that some students, according to that Atlas data, we already know that they have some struggles to reach there. So we're spending time reflecting on how we can get them there. And then the second part of that week is then looking at where students actually are in the data. Are they making the progress? Are we keeping our finger on the pulse? Because we don't want to look up in May and be surprised. We want to make sure that we can track their growth along the way. Secondly, focusing on student intervention. We have our Titan time where we have students grouped according to their most intensive needs. They also have their own independent tracks on Lexia and Reveal, which are the 2 intervention services that you saw on the previous slide. And so there's time in the schedule for them to work independently, and then also time for them to work in small groups with teachers, depending on where their independent needs are. Thirdly, as we said, related to weekly meetings with teachers, we also want to make sure that we're just providing independent coaching. So every teacher this year is going to be on a coaching cycle, which is typically where we're going in and working on specific skills that we want the teacher to improve. We're modeling, we're doing that practice with the teacher, then we're giving the teacher feedback to that end. And so it's a 2 to 4 week cycle, and so each teacher will be on one of those. But we also are working with teams of teachers, and so we've had the support of our state coach, our facilitators, and then also the curriculum instruction team to specialize in specific areas. So if you're in 3-5 and you specialize in math, you're getting to work with the math curriculum specialist for the district to be able to focus on how we can support you. And they're actually getting ready to do some team teacher cycles for the next month of October. And then last but not least, we want to celebrate and focus on growth. We know that achievement is a process, as Dr. O has said. That's a process that does not happen overnight. We can, however, grow every student. When we talk about what's going to make the difference in our data, a large portion of that at the elementary is, are students meeting their growth target or exceeding their growth target, and especially that bottom 25%? Are they meeting where we expect them to grow in a year? And so that's what our focus is going to be this year, is celebrating the growth of students and making sure that they're meeting those growth targets, so we can also obviously see our grade letter change. So we're excited about the year to come, and thankful for the opportunity to be a part of it.
I have a question.
Sure.
Parental involvement, are you getting the parents involved in this process, the ones that are having problems? How are we doing that?
Yes, sir. So a couple different things. Yes, we are having parent conferences with independent third grade students especially, because third grade is where we know that if they're not on level, we talked about those 4 levels, if they're not at a level 2, 3, or 4, then the new Arkansas retention law states that they may be retained. And so we've tried to focus primarily there. We're starting an after-school tutoring program with Book Nook. We have a grant that we have the ability to spend money for, and so we've already procured those services and targeting specifically there. But then we'll also expand that to our 4th and 5th grade. But our focus right now is primarily on 3rd grade, because not only do we need to improve our data or our instructional outcomes, we also know that there's a lot at stake if we don't specifically try to focus there, knowing that we have a lower level of literacy proficiency there. We've also are still exploring some other avenues as well about, can we create, as we work through our intervention plans that we put in place for students, can we also utilize things like sending specific Chromebooks home and asking for parents to work so many minutes out of the week on these independent intervention services, because that's at least something, even if I don't know how to do, I can monitor. Is my student meeting that 30-minute-a-week goal? Is that student meeting 30 minutes in math, 30 minutes in literacy at home? And that way they can do their part as well. So yes, that's currently something we're exploring as well.
Okay, thank you.
Any additional questions?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Dr. Howe.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, so the data is there, and I'm very proud of my team. We've worked very hard. This has been, like Dr. Owen said, achievement. It's a process. It takes some time, and so I know since I've been at Taylor, this has been an ongoing thing, from starting with the culture to making it a culture for learning, and now we're starting to see some of the fruits of all of our labor. So we are close to an A. We're about 44 points away from an A, and our current reality is, looking at this data, this is the usage of our Lexia students meeting weekly goals, and so each student has unit goals that they have to meet, and the data on the right-hand side down at the bottom is our reveal math, and it's just a percentage of students they're performing on the standards. And so really our actions, do I hit down or? So Operation 524, that's what it's going to take for us to become an A. And everything we do, it comes down to our systems. Everything we've been doing, plus then more. Just we're amplifying everything that we've been doing. We're going to continue to monitor teaching and learning through observations daily. We get in classrooms, we're giving feedback, we're meeting with teachers, and really having that high expectation, because we know we can't intervene out of our way out of poor Tier 1 instruction. Because that's how students are tested. They're tested on their grade level standards. Teacher accountability, really I just hold my teachers accountable. They know you want to work in Merle Taylor, you have to put your best foot forward.
and we need you here, we need you at work, we need you on time, and really just, imparting on them the importance. We can't waste time. We have 6.5 hours throughout the day. We want to maximize as much instructional time as possible because our students can't afford to not have that. We do peer observations. Some our strong teachers go see other strong teachers. Our teachers who maybe have some growth opportunities, they go observe other teachers. And myself and my assistant principal, we go with them on that. And we have feedback, we provide next steps, all of those things. So it's a continuous process of increasing or enhancing their craft knowledge. And then we do a plan, do, check, a cycle with inquiry. Everything we do, we look at it, at data, what is this data telling us, then we make an action plan, and then we implement it, and we come back and check it, and we repeat that process. So it's an ongoing process of, because we are very data rich in Jacksonville, which is a great thing because it tells us a lot about our students. Not only our students, but our teachers too. And I just make everything competitive. Our students and our staff, they compete with one another. Everybody wants a high value added growth score so that they can maybe get merit pay, all those things, but really imparting on them the importance of showing up every day, putting forth your best foot forward. And when comparing our school to other schools close by, other school districts, Pulaski County, Little Rock, North Little Rock, they rank. They're ranked by the state, and we're number 5 compared to, and those other schools are affluent schools. You have Chenal, Forest Park, Don Roberts, all those schools, and we're number 5, which says a lot. It says a lot about our school and what our kids are capable of. We just have to have high expectations. We have to show them what they are capable of being able to do. But we're growing, and we're in the 93rd percentile for growth in the state, but our achievement is at 31%. So we need more students performing at level 3s and 4s. And so really that starts in kindergarten. I always say that it is the most important because if there aren't any gaps to close, then students are going to consistently perform at grade level. So we're just going to continue to work hard and implement and utilize our HQIM and our support system. So, questions?
So Dr. Howell, this growth deal thing, is that going to help any?
I mean, absolutely. It made us be. And looking at the math, I think we're like in the top 6% of the state for growth, and that's huge. That's a really big deal because 66% of the score is based off of growth. But if me personally, I would like to be in the top 5% in the state for achievement and growth. I mean, I have high expectations, and so for us, we need to increase our students and their achievement. We need more students at level 3 and 4, and so then we can really be competitive and outperform Cabbage and all those schools and show them that, yeah, not only are our kids growing, but they're also achieving. They're also at a level 3 and 4. So.
Yeah. Thank you.
As Dr. Howell leaves and our next principal comes up, board and audience, I want to share that Dr. Howell we've been contacted by a number of schools and districts wanting to schedule time to come visit her. I think we had one today to come from another Central Arkansas district to tour her classrooms and visit with her teachers too. So.
Good day, everyone.
Hello.
One person, okay. All right, so you see the data there. One of the things, JMS has 2 intervention periods as literacy lab. We are moving scholars in literacy lab. The other one is WIN time, which is dedicated to the math intervention. Not gonna lie, I had to, call some people in on that one because they weren't, the district and I was told expect 40 minutes a week on that. And so there was not the monitoring that should have been taking place, wasn't taking place. So, but I think they understand now that that has to happen. I did meet with the staff when we received our grade. I told them that we own it, and and I wouldn't address them if I didn't think there was potential in the room to raise the scores. We have a large number of level 1 scholars. They are the easiest scholars to move. They don't have anywhere to go but up. So that's kind of the where we started. And so our action plan, we're going to concentrate on Tier 1 instruction to make sure that every student is consistently engaging on grade level. That's one of the things I talked to my staff about, the difference between empathy and sympathy. I don't need you feeling sorry for our scholars. I need you to understand our scholars and then push them. So that's, that's one of the things that we're doing. So we're aligning the lesson planning, that's something that's checked weekly, and before we go into the classroom, formative assessment data, we're using that, and Tier 3 data, that's something that we use with Alexia, Mathia, and Think First. I think Dr. Walker touched on that when he talked about that lower 25% is counted twice. So if we can move those scholars, they're counted twice for us, and so that's huge. So we have it divided up in what is expected of admin and what we're going to do, and that is we're conducting those walkthroughs and we're giving actionable feedback. We've also roped in our CNI team. They come over, they meet with they meet with the teachers, and they give them feedback. The Learning as Required walks, they gave them real-time feedback as to what they were seeing and what was expected in the classroom. The CTMs or PLCs, that time is being utilized to disaggregate the data and look and see where they are. One of the things that I think is huge is that every scholar needs to know their current reality. Every parent needs to know their scholar's current reality. But they also need to know what it's going to take to move them, to get them to the next level. And so our teachers realize that as well. And so they're on board with that. So just addressing standards, redressing standards on grade level. So am I asking them to put them on grade level? No, I'm asking them to scaffold and grow them to grade level. So that's one of the things that we're doing. So building a culture and a system of accountability for student growth and grade level instruction. So anybody that knows me knows that I'm big on structure, I'm big on accountability, I'm big on systems. I go on the if-then model. If you do this, then this will happen. So that's what we believe. And our teacher steps, they are to collaborate, unpack their standards and their CTMs, plan and deliver grade level appropriate instruction, and that is focusing on their HQIMs and directly aligning everything that they do with their quizzes, their tests, their interim tests, and using that data to drive their instruction forward. So we will document progress with students, grade level teachers, administrators, and parents. And that was, I'm glad Mr.
McDaniel.
Look at that, Mr. McDaniel said that, because we do want to include our parents. We do want them to know that it's not a surprise. And one of the things that I wanted to happen is when our scholars leave middle school and they go to high school, is not entering an unknown territory or things they're not familiar with. So we're trying to align structurally those things that are at the high school so that it'll be a seamless transition for them. They're familiar with the academy model. They're familiar with the language that goes along with that, being a completer with CTE programs. So all those things are important for our scholars to know and understand. That focus on tier 2 instruction, that targeted small group and supplementing things to assist that scholar to get back on track and knowing what it takes to get there. So we will incorporate routines and scaffold instruction to ensure all scholars are learning at grade level every day, or at least in that direction. Questions?
I do have a question. Ms. Biggs, I'm sure the parents have already, the parents have already been notified about how to help their scholar. Can we just remind them, because I know sometimes we just think it's elementary where parents are sitting down supporting their scholars, but middle school is big too, so we're in this open forum, can we remind parents where they can get the information in to help support their scholars? Because it really takes a collaborative effort, not just you and the teachers and staff, whatever, it takes parents to support their scholars as well.
Yes, ma'am. So one of the things when our parents come to parent-teacher conferences, when our counselors send out information, that's part of that. That's, we want to tell them, listen, your scholar isn't reading, they need to be reading, reading something. You can have them read the newspaper. No, okay, so read the newspaper, they need to read something, and realize the value of what it is. So I'm trying to create a culture where that parent is that third leg of that stool. If you're looking at it, it's school, it's home, and it's the teacher. So, you know, we want to create that stability for that scholar so that they can move forward. So yes, ma'am, we are sending out that information, and when we meet with them, that's part of what we do. The Atlas information to get them into the portal, we did provide that for them, so, you know, and if they had questions about that, they had the opportunity to address that as well.
Okay, and if they have, like, let's just say for some reason they don't have their login information,
Sure.
they can contact the school to get
Oh,
it?
yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
what I thought, I just wanted
Yes,
to.
ma'am. And we encourage them to keep up with their scholars' achievement through HACK. The older grades in middle school are familiar with that, but when they're coming from elementary to middle school in 6th grade, they're not so sure of how to operate and navigate HACK. That's, the parent can go and look and see exactly what's going on with that scholar academically and immediately. We are also incorporating that RTI piece academically and behaviorally for our scholars.
Yeah, and again, like I know this, but I feel that some people don't know that that's a free service
Yes,
that
ma'am.
they can check on their phone, iPad, tablet, or whatever for the parents to keep up with what their students are
Yes,
doing.
and we have QR codes around so that parents can scan that. We did at open house and parent-teacher conferences, they have QR codes that they can scan. And if our media center specialist, Ms. Kay, is on staff at any point, if they need to contact her, and she can help them set it up. If they don't have it set up, then she will help them do that.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am, no worries. Questions, considerations?
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
We have the high school, Ms. Mims.
Good evening. I think I've been here before. I think I've been to the last 3 board meetings, but I'm gonna speak again. Our current reality data is, we don't know what our official score is, but we know that it is a D. That's about all we know. We don't know how close we are to a C. So we know that, it was based on a issue with a, course code. And so we know that they had to, redo our score, but we're still not satisfied with the score of a D. We want to move it forward. All right, so our focus areas are, we're implementing an instructional model that will shift the teachers to be more facilitators of that classroom instead of shifting them to be more facilitators. And the reason we looked at this was because we know that our teachers are in the classroom teaching, but our question was, are our scholars learning at that point? And so we've gone back to our collaborative team meetings and addressed that issue with the curriculum. And we've also tiered our teachers based on the support that they need. We've also partnered with the co-op. We have them coming in a week with a lot of the new teachers that we have. We've partnered with with the co-op and also with teachers within our building. And so we're allowing them to do those walkthroughs with their mentor teachers. So we're using that. We're also identifying, we're shifting the standard-based learning to align with that formative assessment so it align better with the Atlas. So we know that when I was in the classroom, our scores were based on the end-of-course exam, the ACTAP. So I had to have my students ready for that test. And so what now we have to do, since this is kind of a newer test, is we have to go back and we have to make our students feel that they are ready to take that test. And that's what the curriculum team has done a good job. It is embedded in the HQIM. The formative assessments are now aligned with that Atlas test. And so we just have to make sure that our teachers are providing that instruction and using that formative assessment that will give them that feedback and give them that data that will align to that test. And we've restructured our win, and during our win time, We have identified our lower 25 percentile of students, and we are targeting them. We have a section of our teachers that are off during our win time, and so we've taken those 25%. We are going to pull them out into smaller groups so we can work more hands-on and in a smaller setting instead of a bigger classroom with just a bigger number. So we're monitoring that. We know that we have to provide some incentives because they're going to work better if they're incentivized. So we are doing that as well. So we also know that we have to continue with our graduation rate and the focus and track that data as well as the data of our merit scholars and our completers. So we have to keep those up and still move our bottom 25 because, like you said, those are calculated twice. And Ms. Turner is going to speak because she's also a part of my team with the ALE students, the hub, and the virtual.
Okay, as you guys know, I actually have a middle school and high school on my campus. And so our focus is, as Ms. Biggs stated as well, we are focusing on our students tier 1 instruction. We are doing that in a very great way. We have teachers, actually my teachers have to teach every subject. They teach one subject. I've got core teachers. They teach one subject for 6th through 12th grade students. Each of our students, they do a rotation just like they would at middle school or high school. We are focusing on tier 1 instruction. So at the beginning of the year, we looked at students' data. We also had our teachers to look at their standards and the curriculum map and ensure that what we were teaching was actually aligned with what the state is requiring. We have Titan time built in. 3 days out the week our students do Lexia, and 2 days they work on Think First. And we also have Dr. Walker and Dr. Owen were so kind to provide me with a teacher, a 7th teacher, and that teacher focuses on electives. One of our electives is AVID, which is a pathway for our high school scholars as well. So, but she is focused on reading skills. She's focused on note-taking skills, study skills, skills that our students need in order to be successful on this exam. On the other side, you know, we have our hybrid program. Our hybrid program teachers are focusing on graduation rate. Last year we were at 95% graduation rate on that side of our building. This year we are focused on 100%. In order to do that, we are actually having our teachers to meet with our scholars weekly, my hybrid teachers and my counselor, to check their progress, to make sure that they're on track for graduation. We added virtual under the alternative learning side, and my counselor along with my dean, Mr. Coach Joyner, they're focused on ensuring that our students graduate and they're on track. We have 23 senior scholars virtual this year, and so we're making sure every one of them graduates. Any questions?
Ms. Turner, could you give us a brief reminder on the difference between tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 instruction?
Absolutely. So tier 1 instruction is where the student should be. That is what we are teaching. Our state guidelines, they are focused on tier 1 instruction. Tier 2, that is a student might be a year behind, but it's just saying that they need a little more support in that tier 1 instruction. So they might have a few holes in their gap. Tier 3 instruction, those students are more than 1 year behind, and they need an additional level of intervention time.
Thank you.
Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
That concludes our presentation from the schools, and I want to thank you all for being so attentive and asking questions. But we know that this is just a roadmap, that letter grade is. But what we're going to do is celebrate our pockets of success, and we're going to build on those areas where we need to improve. And we're going to do that as a team. So I want to thank all the principals, because I know you're working hard, and we really, truly appreciate you.
Thank you, Dr. Walker. Thank you, everyone that presented. We appreciate y'all. I know that y'all are working hard. All right, next. next item we have is public comment, and Ms. Chisa is shaking her head no, so we've got nobody signed up for public comment this evening. Next item we've got is facilities report. Do we have anybody to discuss facilities this evening? How about legal update? Do we have anybody here to discuss legal updates? Is there anything happening in the legal realm regarding Jacksonville North Pulaski? Mr. Richardson, good to see you, sir.
Feels good to come after some of that good news about the performance in the schools. We will come and talk to you about the order we got this week, or last week, from the federal court. The district is fully unitary. And I've never read an order that is quite so complimentary to the client. To say that Judge Marshall was gushing about the good work done in this school district is maybe an understatement. Mr. Gray and I had many meetings when I was at the Attorney General's office before the district was created, and the sense was always, look, if you could just give this community these schools, we can do a good job educating these students and getting rid of all this desegregation stuff, because we'll teach all our students equally. And I think this goes to prove that was right. You've done a wonderful job over the years with your different superintendents, especially Dr. Owa, who's there at the beginning and is here at the unitary status as well. It's very impressive. Less than 10 years under court supervision. In my mind, that scale works. The case started in 1984, but that was a refiling by the Little Rock School District to point blame at other school districts for problems that the Little Rock School District was having. The genesis of the case is back into the 50s in the Brown versus Board era. So that's 70 years ago. And the same day we got our order, PCSD filed its motion for final unitary status. So in my mind, that's the comparison. Little Rock got unitary in 2001. Took a couple of years to get that confirmed. But that was after 40, 50 years of court supervision. PCSD is now close to achieving unitary status after almost 70 years of court supervision. North Little Rock School District took longer than Little Rock School District, so they were close to 50, 60 years of court supervision. Y'all did it in less than 10, which I think is amazing. It's been a great honor to represent you in this. Kind of walk alongside as your good leaders and all the people that put effort into that to get to unitary status. I always tell people, good clients make for a good case, and that's what's happened here. It's been a tremendous amount of hard work on your part, on your administrator's part, on your teacher's part, and we had to get unitary in academics, discipline, staffing, facilities. It was an incredible lift, and you should be very proud of it.
Well, thank you very much, sir, and I just want to state publicly that Mr. Richardson had an integral part in helping us. Before he was our attorney for the state of Arkansas, and several meetings is an understatement, but he was integral in negotiating the settlement agreement in which the clause for the possible creation of the Jacksonville district was born. So without Scott Richardson, I don't know that we're all sitting here today having this meeting, and I just want to say thank you very much publicly, and we've gotten you a plaque here to commemorate this. Says Jacksonville North Pulaski proudly presents to Mr. Scott Richardson appreciation of your exceptional performance and outstanding contributions to the scholars and staff in the Jacksonville North Pulaski School District, signed by Dr. Ola and Daniel Gray.
Thank you so
very
much.
We also have the judge's order printed out here, so you can hang that in your office.
We got special paper too.
Yeah,
I like it. I like it.
very good. You want to do a picture?
Yeah.
Dr. Ola?
Maybe hold that up to. All right, count of three. 1, 2, 3. I got you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Any other lawsuits pending?
Oh, yeah. We'll be busy for a little while, but
No,
feel
you're
good
good.
about
We don't
those.
want to hear about it.
All right, so thank you very much.
Thank you again.
Exciting news. All right, next item we need to talk about is our legacy walk.
Yes, just a reminder that we have our first recognition ceremony this Thursday at 10 a.m. in Titan Circle. Reservations or RSVPs have been coming in strong, so we're almost at 60 people, 60 guests. Yep. And so we're looking forward to having a great showing. Just FYI, it's right there on the Legacy Walk Rain location. It's the foyer of the auditorium at the high school. So hope to see everyone there.
Looking forward to that. All right, let's go ahead and check on action item number 2 of the addendum. Let's talk about our ongoing partnership with the Academies of Central Arkansas Foundation. I see Mr. Marcus is with us again tonight.
Yes, last month, if you remember, Mr. Marcus represented the Academies of Central Arkansas and the actual Academies of Central Arkansas Foundation, excuse me, I got tongue-tied. And so he presented that report and proposal, and so it's on our agenda for this month for an action item for approval. So the recommendation is to approve our participation in the Academies of Central Arkansas Foundation. The funding source is Perkins Fund.
All right, we've got a recommendation to approve to continue. Do I hear any questions
So
or
moved.
discussion? I've got a
Second.
motion and a second to approve. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And it is unanimous. You're stuck with us.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Next item, let's go ahead and hit the approval to pay the employees who worked in achieving buildings for FY25, but were moved to other buildings for FY26.
Yes, as you know, we have 4 schools who achieved in raising their letter grade this year. The actual policy that you approved a couple of years ago stated that this, individuals had to be at the school when the assessment was taken and then currently located at the school when the bonus is given. Although that was stated, we felt like to be fair, we wanted to make sure that we still award those individuals who we moved from the district admin moved to a different site on campus, that they still receive the bonus. And so the recommendation is to approve the bonus compensation for those employees who were moved by district admin to a different location.
Yeah, I think the intent was to make sure they stayed with the district.
Exactly.
All right, got our motion or recommendation to approve? Motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that passes unanimously as well. Thank you all very much. I think that takes us to the district reports.
Yes, a couple of things. One, you granted me the approval to approve legal transfers, but per the law, any denials will have to come to you as the board to take action on, and so you have one before you. We had a legal transfer last year. The 2 individuals who are on the form before you were transferred into our district, but did not attend according to our attendance policy, therefore were dropped, and currently are asking to come back to our school district, but because of their attendance record last school year, we are asking that the board do not approve this legal transfer so that we can keep those slots open. Right now, we have single-digit spaces at the high school for our English and other content areas, and so we would like to keep those spaces available for potential students, keeping in mind that we will have an influx of families from the Air Force come in October later this month, and so we would like to make sure we have room and space available. So the recommendation is to not approve the legal transfer that's before you.
Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to uphold the superintendent's recommendation to deny that transfer. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that passes unanimously.
And the last thing for the superintendent's report, I'm asking if we can have a special meeting, hopefully within the next few days. If next Monday works for you, that would be a great day to talk about our next building project. We're hoping to move forward potentially with the pre-K relocation, but we wanted to put that out before you and discuss some additional items on that, and also possibly discuss the stipend schedule for the middle school coaches as well as we continue to develop and grow athletics at the middle school level. We want to put that before you as well, and any other topic that will come before you. I believe we'll have another resolution to come before you as well for the special meeting. So the request is to get that on the calendar if possible.
Is everybody good for Monday, 6?
Yes.
6 o'clock work?
It's coming Monday.
Yes, sir.
All right, the 13th, 6 p.m., right here. Same place. Chicken Alfredo. Where's Clint?
About that.
And that concludes my report.
Very good, thank you, sir. All right, consent agenda, we've got the minutes from the September 2nd, regular meeting, assistant superintendent's report, and financial report. Is there anything that needs to be pulled down for discussion? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously. All right, 2026 election document reminder.
Yes, that is just listed for FY purposes only. The election process has been revised, and we wanted to make sure that you had all the important dates, so that's just informational purposes only.
All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate you putting that in there. All right, adding a new pregame lighting show for Titan Arena events. So we have Coach Hick coming to speak with us.
Good evening.
Hey.
Thank you guys for the opportunity to talk about some of the sandboxing that I've done this first 9 weeks. You know, when I met with Dr. O at the beginning of the school year, our focus was to change the culture. And so I visited with some other athletic directors and looked at some other athletic programs to try to find ways to brand our Titan athletics. There's some exciting opportunities that I'm here to present to you tonight to make you aware of. Dr. O, am I running this slideshow here?
Yes.
All right, so this first group that I come across is called Luxido, and this will enhance our experience in our gymnasium arena. So the programs that we'll get to experience this is our volleyball team, our basketball, and our wrestling program. I found this company online, and I think they do an outstanding job of a pregame experience for just fans and athletes. When I continue to look at some of the benefits, it would give us a chance to generate some revenue Everybody talks about going to the NBA. It kind of gives you an NBA experience. I call it the high college experience for our athletes. It can be used as an education tool. Dr. Owen and I have discussed creating like a Titan TV, something to do with the journalism class. I've also visited with Coach Miss Mims about creating a class next year and starting something in our school that would help our scholars get a chance to experience creating videos, and using this software gives them the opportunity to go into pregame productions and develop a lighting show that can be seen in a pregame setting. So this is kind of what these guys do here.
Kevin, if you let me share it, I'll share it. I got the video.
JNPSD.
That's good. That's not that in mine.
I found it.
Okay.
It's something weird on the PowerPoint.
All right. So I'll let you.
It was just so awesome to feel the energy in the room.
The fan experience is second to none. It really affects everybody, from the fans to the players. It's just an awesome experience for everybody.
You're coming to see more than just a basketball game.
The kids love it, coaches love it, but the community loves it even more.
The live in-game experience is unimaginable at a high school level.
And the fans, I think, feel more engaged and feel more connected to the experience as a whole.
It's as simple as pressing the button. You can operate it from just about anywhere at any time. As long as you can press play, you can use it.
Working with Luxedo was painless. They took care of all our questions. They answered them up front for us.
The way Luxedo presented it to us, they were just absolutely spectacular. So it was a dream for us, and they kind of made our dreams come true.
All right, so that's Luxedo, and it's be an opportunity to our kids, our scholars will be able to design those programs and create them. I've been working on this with this group for a couple of months. It's a very expensive piece of software, along with the setup. We get 4 projectors in the top of the arena. And I think it's something that, I visited with 4 companies here in town, 4 businesses, and just kind of sandboxing, sharing with them about the vision. And the commitment that I'm asking for is a 3-year commitment. Hands down, everybody was on board to try to get it done. And so then I brought it to Dr. Owa and shared with him the vision. And I think it'll be just cool, you know, for our kids to experience that. And there's nobody around us that has it. The people that have it are up in Northwest Arkansas, and they have a group called Walmart that supports them. And so, with us and our situation in our city, when I visited with Lexido to negotiate pricing, I feel like we're in a good spot, and I think they're going to work with us because I told them I didn't want to get a Rolls Royce and can't drive it. And so they understand my background and the knowledge or lack of knowledge that I would have with their program. So I think we've got a good setup with your support. And then the next thing that I would like for us to do in our athletic program is start a legacy pavilion. I know we've got a legacy walk, but I'd like for us to look at doing a legacy pavilion. So I visited with Pinnacle Structures. Pinnacle Structures is a group that I used back when I was with the middle school, junior high. If you're not familiar, we used to have an indoor practice facility for our junior high program. And Mr. Will Feeling is the gentleman up there at Pinnacle Structures, and I visited with him and his right hand. We've kind of come up with a design and a fair cost, in my opinion, with their support to get this thing on the ground and running. I think option one will be the better option for us. It's something that we can set at the end of the football stadium, closest to school drive, because every year I get groups for reunions or just people asking, is there a way that we could host something at a football game? And I think this will give us an opportunity for somebody like Lamanco to have a appreciation for their employees to come to a football game, grill burgers, and sit down there on the end of the stadium and just watch our football team play. But some of those folks may not ever come, so I think it would give us an opportunity to expand. A fundraising opportunity that would provide is, we all know that you can reach out. Some of the groups that do reunions ask about, is there, you know, I'm talking about the legacy brick, and I've sold legacy bricks through those opportunities. But I think if we can get them involved in providing the furniture for the canopy or the pavilion, whatever name you want to give it, I think we have opportunities there for those folks. And then the last thing, that changing culture, visiting with Dr. Ola, is our spring sport, baseball and softball. Those athletes don't get a chance to hear their name come across the speaker. And so I've done some research on what I can do to try to change that from happening. And there's this, I ran across this group here, it's called Mic'd Up, and they will announce players through their computer system, and all we would need to do is provide a hotspot, and they've given us the laptop. And I don't, Kevin, I've got, some of this will play. Just to kind of give you an idea. So it's a virtual announcer, and also I thought about through our journalism class or the Titan TV class, these guys could help with setting this up for our softball and baseball coaches, and eventually we can use it for multiple sports. It should be speaking.
Good afternoon, baseball fans, and welcome to Hartman Field for today's varsity baseball game featuring the visiting Fishers Tigers and your Cardinal Greyhounds.
So we send the company the lineup. Here's the lineup organization.
Led by the head coach, Ty Neal. Leading off, the designated hitter, number 13, Jonathan Litchfield. Now batting, number 13, Jonathan Litchfield. With that stolen base, Tire Discounters, the home of free alignment, donates $100 to Cardinal High School Athletics. Attention all coaches. Attention all
So this is the
coaches.
track meet. So this will help
The
us
coaches
with
meeting
multiple
will
sports.
begin at
as
the
virtual
start-finish
announcer.
line in approximately 10 minutes. Once again, the coaches meeting will begin at the start-finish line in approximately 10 minutes.
So if we ever get
This
short.
is the third and final call for the 100-meter dash. Third and final call for the 100-meter dash. Introducing the participants.
Can you operate that like off your phone or?
No, you got a laptop. So they
Okay.
give us a laptop, and what we do is got to give them a 2-week lead time. But creating the lineup, we just create the lineup and just store it in the database. And then it's like you're hitting batting first, and then you'll hit the name, and then it has your number tied to it.
So the coaches can change the lineup in the middle of the season, they can move it around.
Move it around. So it just takes a little bit before the game to make sure we've got it all.
Multiple computers for
Each
baseball,
sport-
softball?
Each sport has their own.
Okay.
And so, changing the culture, and the thing was, you know, we kind of get caught up in wins and losses. But I wanted to make sure that when our athletes graduate, you know, that they've enjoyed their time and we've left an impression on them. And you'll talk about a lot more things than, you know, how many wins you had or how many games you lost. But so just trying to create an experience for each one of our athletes in whatever sport they play.
So board member,
Yeah, I have a question. The 3 years, is that for them to provide upgrades to the system and stuff like that, or is what the 3 years for the
3 years is a financial commitment.
financial commitment for 3 years? And it's how much each year?
Trying to get 15, the goal is to get 15 businesses $1,000 a year.
Okay, so it's gonna be,
45,000.
okay, per year?
One shot.
Total?
Total.
Okay.
45, yes.
Okay.
so the recommendation is, total cost for the Luxido, software and devices is $45,000. The initial money will come out of the, GATE, activity fund, athletic, activity funds. So Coach Hick is proposing to replenish that back with the 3-year fundraising campaign. But the initial, money will come out of, the activity fund, as well as for the Legacy Pavilion, the $25,000 would come out of the GATE activity fund.
Okay.
So board members, you have 2 proposals before you, 2 action items. One is for the Luxido pregame and for the Titan Arena for $45,000, and then the $25,000 Legacy Pavilion action item as well.
Is the plan on the pavilion to do pretty much the same thing as far as commitment from sponsors or try to advertise or class reunions and things like that?
I think as far as the furniture goes, I think the 25 will probably come out of, you know, athletics, and then just over time. We've increased ticket sales and over the past 3 years, and it's time to start, in my opinion, putting some back in and trying to find ways to enhance what we're trying to build. And I think the Legacy Pavilion will, you know, will be here forever.
Yeah. All right, let's handle the, let's do the laser show first.
I have two questions.
Okay, questions?
On the Luxedo, it just lists girls basketball and boys basketball as the programs, but you said something about wrestling and volleyball. Is that gonna be an additional cost to add those?
So what happens is, you create shows, or I hire them to build shows.
Okay.
And so I've negotiated shows for the boys and girls basketball, because that's when we're gonna try to get it going season-wise. But then like if I wanted to go buy another show and hire them, it's about $2,000 a show.
Okay. And then my second question is about the pavilion. Is it gonna match what's already there? Is it gonna look different than that?
It's gonna be steel. When you say what's already there, what?
Like the
Color
side,
scheme?
the drip
Color
side,
scheme,
the brick and the metal, yeah, the aesthetic, is it gonna match, or is it gonna just be like a steel wall?
No, it's just a roof, and it's gonna slant. It's gonna be higher on the front end. It's not gonna be a typical.
Is it red iron?
Yeah.
Can it be painted?
Well, I mean, I think whatever we wanna do with it, you know, I think the color on the tin on the top, we can pick it, you pick your color. So I think there's.
I was picturing like a lean-to that's gonna look not as
Sure.
great as what our facilities look right now.
Absolutely. That's why I went to steel, because I thought it would be, last longer, look better, compared to just wood.
Let's handle the Lux laser show first. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The laser show passes unanimously. How soon can that be installed?
The goal was the red-white game, but I don't know if I'm gonna make it. So we're hoping in December.
Okay. This season though?
Yeah, this season.
Okay. All right, so let's talk about the pavilion, the Legacy Pavilion. More discussion other than the colors? Do we want to see further renderings or pictures or?
I do, because I'm, what's in my mind,
Or it'll be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Could we get, could they do maybe some real color pictures of kind of
Sure.
other places they've done something like that similar, and that, I mean, that's something for like next year, right? You're gonna do this summer?
Yeah, we're gonna track meet season, but yeah.
Okay. Why don't we get some more pictures and bring that back, maybe in November?
I can do it.
Cool. All right. Anything else?
So we're tabling that, right?
What was the other thing? What about the announcement thing? Where was that part? Is that just something you're doing?
It's already been done.
Awesome. Very good. Very
All right.
cool. Appreciate you, sir.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. That takes us to student disciplinary hearings.
Yes, sir. Actions. You have 5 files in your board document to review. These are uncontested.
Get it out of your agenda.
Oh, there it is. Too much drama for me. Too juicy.
Hear a motion?
So moved.
Motion to approve has been seconded. The superintendent's recommendation to uphold these disciplinary actions. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, those pass unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Smith. All right, next item we've got is personnel. Any discussion on personnel needs to be held in executive session. So we will move into executive session. We'll be back. It is cold in here. Kevin, we good? All right, we'll go ahead and call the meeting back to order in open session. So we've got personnel as amended with the addendum. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the recommendations as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously. All right, we've got some upcoming events. On October the 9th, we've got our Legacy Walk ceremony at 10 a.m. at the high school. Also, the same day, we've got District Annual Hispanic Heritage Festival at Jacksonville Elementary and the middle school from 5 to 7. And that is it. We've got a Friday night football game, Cersei this week at 7 p.m. at the high school, here at home. When is the pink out? When does Bobby get to wear his pink suit?
Friday.
This Friday? Right. All right, Mr. McDaniel.
Hey, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, we are adjourned. Thank y'all.